Morning.
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 What have you done to us all?
Oh, that's interesting.
Just testing new views out. Do you not like that view?
Hello.
Hi, Larissa. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes for a few more people to join, and then we'll go straight on. We are recording the session as well, just so you know. You're live at Z Hotels. Please do not swear.
I think you could do that in a Geordie accent, Rachel.
I'm not sure I can.
Why, hello, Kenny. Thanks for dialing in.
Want to try Welsh, Becky?
Oh, no, please don't. Yeah. You got to do a sentence without
Okay, I think we should start.
Yeah.
Still growing.
Oh, she's in the little in the back of the cafe.
Canteen, it's infamously known as the canteen.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
We crack on now?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, we're going to start. Good morning. For those that haven't met me yet, my name is Rachel Cruz and I'm the Business Support Manager for Z Hotels. And welcome to Z Hotels Company FAQs. We are recording and these will be added to SharePoint for other teams to see in case they're unable to attend. Questions have been submitted by new teams and these have been run through with the exec. Please feel free to add any questions in the chat though. We'll try and pick them up if they're appropriate during the course. If not, we'll wait for the end. So the first question is to Bev. Will Z Hotels open new hotels in the near future, apart from the one in Leicester Square?
Well, first of all, good morning, everybody. Our intention is to continue building more Z Hotels. Obviously, we like building hotels. We like opening new hotels. But really, at the moment, the only place that the economics work is in London. So London's really kind of our main focus. And ideally, we'd like to be in a position that we're opening kind of 3 hotels every 2 years. But obviously, that depends on one, finding the right sites, and number 2, putting the right finances together to be able to fund them. So let's see. What I will give you is an update on Leicester Square. So Leicester Square is due to open in December and will probably be finished around about April next year. But it will open with somewhere in the region of about 50 rooms, probably just before Christmas.
Great, thank you. And in terms of expansion, can we expect any Z Hotels in any other countries outside the UK?
No, quite simply, we don't intend to build any hotels outside of the UK. Our focus, as I say, is mainly on London for the time being.
And similarly, are we looking for any new business partners?
No, definitely not. We're happy with the partners that we've got at this point in time. So we're not looking for anyone else at this time.
And will Z Hotels create a new or a different concept, Jill?
No, carry on. Very happy to carry on with our current concept, which is compact luxury. It's possible that we may consider another club at some stage in London, but that's a sort of TBA, not quite right now.
And then we're just moving on to company benefits, and this is to Roz. Can the company give sponsorship visas for teams and or interns?
We have a visa sponsor license, so yes, we can sponsor individuals. However, it actually depends on a few factors, things such as positions or the visa that people currently are on. We do have a policy that we've actually uploaded to Z Connect, so if anybody wants to have a look at it, they can. But in short, people must email either me or Sue, and if you're eligible, the company will actually fund up to 50% of it. The remaining 50% needs to be paid by individuals. However, the company would also be prepared to repaid over a period of 12 months.
Great, thank you. And this is a two-part question there. Will staff at Z Hotels get a pay rise? And will there be a pay rise this business year?
Well, first of all, if you've completed your probation period, then you'll be entitled to a pay rise, assuming that we give a pay rise. In relation to a pay rise, we typically do all our pay rises in October. And for the last 3 years, we've given a pay rise in October. Whether we do one this October, I don't know. We just have to wait and see once we get there. There's way too much uncertainty in the economy and in the world in general at this point in time. I think, obviously with the new government coming in, or assuming that there's a change in government in July, and the uncertainty that potentially could bring, we'll just have to see what impact that has on inflation and rising costs, and we'll take a view probably in September, I guess, as to whether we can afford a pay rise or not, and we'll obviously let everybody know at that point in time.
Great, thank you. And do you think in the future there will be any bonuses based on performance?
Potentially, yes, but we need the economy to be much stronger. We were planning to introduce something like that back in sort of 2020 when COVID struck, and that kind of stopped us in our tracks. And really, we've been trying to recover ever since then. So I think we need the economy to be a lot stronger for us to be able to have a performance-based bonus scheme for managers throughout the company.
Okay, and then just moving on to career development, to Roz. With the new hotel coming on board, will the company consider creating any new roles?
Depending on the properties which we develop, it may impact the structure, but this will only be decided when we actually buy or purchase the properties. Leicester Square is a copy of our existing properties, so that will be the same structure. Leicester Square will have approximately 95 bedrooms with a cafe and a basement.
And Jill, is the company thinking of creating new clusters?
It depends exactly, as Roz just said, on properties that we develop and purchase, location and size. That will impact the structure and only decided once we actually have determined that, which properties will be coming online. If it refers to sort of a new cluster similar to Trafalgar, Strand, Covent Garden, where we have cluster managers rather than hotel managers, probably not in the short term. We still see that, very much as a training ground.
And just moving on to operations with Bethan, in which way does the company benefit from having a 2-month rota? And when can we provide feedback about the new rotas to the senior team?
The reason we decided to do the rotas in advance followed a project which was run by the members from the Future Leadership Programme as to how we could improve communication, consistency, fairness, as well as provide team members with more notice on shifts. The Future Leader team canvassed opinions from team members across the whole portfolio and proposed several options to which the current 4-week rota was created. The idea was to born out of supporting both the business as well as team members. So, for example, by having consistency in shift times and providing notice for team members to plan their lives more effectively. After we post the next month's rotas, we will send a questionnaire asking for feedback, one for team members and another one to the hotel managers who create the rotas. The feedback will then be reviewed by the executive team. As any change, it takes some time to get used to, and therefore we have waited a couple of months to embed the monthly rotas so we can receive more accurate feedback.
Thanks, Bethan. I think it's always to remember as well, it's impossible to please everybody all the time when we do, certainly the exec team do try their best as well. So just moving on again. So why did we reduce the number of shifts per day in each property, Bethan?
Well, the number of shifts per day has not changed. This number has been agreed with the area hotel managers. The number of people on shift differs from property to property, which depends on the number of bedrooms as well as the food and beverage sales. Since implementing the 0-hour contracts, shifts were being given which were unnecessary. The number of people on shift differs from property to property. Some hotels had a lot of team members on shift when the hotel is only busy doing breakfast. 0-hour contracts were employed to help cover holidays, sickness, and assist on weekends, not an extra head count to the teams. Team members need to remember to book holidays in advance. When no one is on holiday, there are too many team members working, and then at other times, they are short as everyone wants to go on holiday at the same time.
This was a question from Gloucester Place. Why are the late shifts changed to finish at 10:30 p.m. when it's not busy at that time?
So as part of the new rota implementation, we introduced this shift in all hotels. This is to support the night teams as well as try and push the food and beverage sales in the evening. Whilst we appreciate not everyone feels the benefit of some of the shift patterns, it is also noted that other team members have commented about having the benefit of a longer overlap between late shifts and night shifts.
Thanks. And another question was, why can we only have one shift swap per month?
So the rota is now being published a month in advance so that team members can plan ahead. The rota project is new. This will be reviewed later this summer after receiving feedback from the questionnaires.
Thanks, Bethan. And there is a question here in the chat which is on rota, so I'm just going to read it out. So, reference the new rota. What would happen if a staff member wished to cancel or withdraw a holiday in an already published rota? Whilst I appreciate this could cause some issues in amending the rota, could this be acceptable under exceptional circumstances, given that team members are sometimes asked to change their shifts even after the rota is published? So it should in theory work both ways, if possible, under exceptional circumstances. Do we have any thoughts on this matter?
I think the answer there is in the question, Sarah, with exceptional circumstances. So each situation will be assessed uniquely depending on the circumstance.
And we're just going to move on to membership, and this is to Jill. Is the company thinking to create any benefits for members or have a discount?
So in terms of benefits, obviously we already provide quite a large list and have added to that list most recently with the complimentary tea and coffee. On occasion, hopefully you've all seen where we've done mailings out regarding offering members a 15% discount rather than a 10% discount on their bookings. But that's just for a limited time for specific periods. And it's likely to remain that way. It's not something that we will add as a higher level discount. It will always remain at 10%. We've talked about the Future Leader team, and Bethan's mentioned that with the rotas. We actually have from the Future Leader teams, there's a project running from the last batch of participants in that training. So Josie, James from Trafalgar, Sarah, who's on the call, and Sergio from Piccadilly, they're actually looking at we've been asked to look at the membership programme. So if you do have any ideas or other things that you would like to consider, I'm sure they will be happy to receive them. Or if you want to send them to Rachel, she will pass them on.
Great, thank you. Another question is, why are we doing cheese and wine instead of other things?
Cheese and wine, pre-pandemic, for those of you here will remember how successful our cheese and wine was pre-pandemic. And we know that we had requests from members to actually bring that back. So that is why we introduced the offer. It was sort of part of our USP, and it's something that we did want to reignite. We also see it as an opportunity for team members to engage with our guests. It's part of the drive to further enhance our customer service, to improve our team engagement. But as always, if people do have ideas, we're always very welcome to hear if you think there's something better that we should be doing. But we have to remember, going back to Bev's point, it's a cost benefit. So obviously these things have a cost. These things do have a cost. So it's also looking at what the benefits would be, both for the team and for our guests.
Thanks, Jill. And then have you ever thought about adding benefits for members provided by other companies such as restaurants, gym passes, vouchers from retailers, etc.?
It's a really great idea in principle, and collaborating with third parties, is always possible. I think there's a couple of sort of downsides in the administration, and obviously making sure that the third parties are delivering to the standards we want, as well as take up from members. So probably not something at the moment, but again, if you have an idea of something you think would be worthwhile, please do let us know.
Thanks. I'm just moving on to uniform roles. Is there going to be any technical uniform provided for housekeeping supervisors?
We considered the uniform during the first cultural survey, where we canvassed opinions about what people might want. Comfort was certainly one of those areas that people found to be important. We have actually sourced a new uniform company that will actually provide a new uniform, which will be trialled in Covent Garden and Strand. If the trial is successful, elements of this spec could certainly be run out to housekeeping, but there are no immediate plans to do so at the moment.
Thank you. And then one of the burning questions from a team member is, when are we having external social living?
So we have lots of kind of things planned, as you already know. Justina and the ZK Dates group obviously always work together on pulling some dates and social events together, and that's no different this year. We have obviously got the softball, the hikes, obviously one took place at the weekend. Later this year, we're looking at theatre, and also there'll be a hotel team treasure hunt. We'll also kind of take part in the Hospitality Festival in September and the annual Halloween party, which has also been scheduled along with our Christmas parties. Sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice. Our next big event will be our Z Summer Family event, which I'm sure by now you're all aware of, which will actually take place in the same place as last year at Richmond Athletics Association. It'll follow the same route as it did before, so it'll have knockout games and exercises. It'll have a barbecue, bandioki, and a raffle as well. So lots kind of planned for that. In order to kind of help coordinate that, we've actually enlisted some of the people within your hotels, which will actually be taking names, getting guest names, and obviously any dietary requirements. So please make sure you put your name down. And obviously, as we know, it stopped non-stop rain last year, but we have obviously bought ponchos just in case, although we also have lots of suntan lotion left from last year. So hopefully we'll see you all there, because we've got everything planned.
Including the weather.
Well, we're trying.
Is there anything you want to add on that, Fred?
Yeah, just it'd be nice to see you all there on that particular day. Obviously last year was the only rainy day of July. This year it's going to be the only sunny day of July. So it's a date for you all to put in your diary and make sure you come along.
Great. And then just moving over to business overview with you, Vic. So trading and plans for future projects.
Sure. So, well, I think the trading this year obviously has been quite tough. Most months have been trading a little bit below last year, with very little exception. Probably the only exception, I guess, is probably Glasgow. But it has been difficult. Average rates are certainly lower on quite a few dates than they were a year ago. And I think that's a combination of different things that have happened. The economy obviously continues to cause people lots of problems with expenditure and money and all the rest of it. But I think also as well, the conflict in Gaza and Israel has certainly affected the number of travellers from that part of the world, as well as obviously the Ukraine conflict has also caused a lot of uncertainty. People aren't travelling. And now we're reaching a point where obviously we've got lots of elections. We've got elections here on the 4th of July, we've got elections in France, elections in Belgium. So there's a a huge sort of unsettled period of political uncertainty, I guess you'd probably say. And that naturally then does tend to stop people travelling a little bit and people stay closer to home. So, you know, it's important that we are aware that, you know, revenues aren't amazing. Our costs have naturally gone up. We gave everyone a pay rise last year, but also all of our suppliers suffered the impact of inflation. So most of our costs have gone up as well. So as you can imagine, revenues down, costs have gone up. So, you know, every extra sale we can make, every extra pizza we sell, every extra late departure that we sell, you know, every time we have the opportunity to make that extra pound, we should take that opportunity all the time. And as Jill says, every penny matters. So it's important that we're all aware of that. And we appreciate all your efforts to try and maximise the revenues that we possibly can. And we are reaching a period of the year where rates are significantly higher than the rest of the year. So, you know, whilst it's a higher rated period too, we need to make sure that we focus on delivering the best service. But, you know, best service should also be trying to maximise the extra sales that we can possibly do. So, big time of year, really important that we maximise everywhere and continue to do the things that we do well. You know, we sell rooms, we sell all our rooms every day in most of the properties. But, you know, that doesn't happen naturally. A lot of us have to work very hard at making sure we sell those rooms every day. And, you know, the more of that we can do and maximise the revenue, the better. We've got a few priorities for the next year. So whilst obviously Leicester Square is due to open, that's obviously a big thing for us. We haven't actually opened a hotel since 2021. So it's a big step for us. And hopefully it's the first of many more. But also on top of that, we've got a few planning applications in place. So we have a planning application on Trafalgar to change Oasis into 16 bedrooms and 3 apartments on the floor above. So that would be good. And that planning application is currently in. We have another planning application on Covent Garden to convert past the Brown into a Z Cafe. And where our existing cafe and reception is, we would build 8 bedrooms. So again, that would be quite an exciting project that will probably happen during the course of next year, so long as we get consent. And Leicester Square also has a planning application to increase the keys from 81, which is what we've got consent for currently, to push it up to 95. There's a few other projects that we're doing too, but I'll leave Jill to explain those. But also the other mission for us is to find more properties for us to build into the future. So there's a number of conversations that I'm having with different people. We just need to convert some of those conversations into new deals. So let's see. Onwards and upwards, as they say. Yeah.
Yeah, so sort of following that then, as far as the strategy goes, sorry, excuse me, for this year, really want to try and focus on sort of 4 key themes, which are enhancing team engagement, further improving our customer service, and then that ultimately should lead to growing revenue and improving profitability. So those are the 4 sort of pillars of our strategy this year. Regards to team engagement, customer service, we've obviously run many training courses, and it's really important for us as a business to invest in yourselves, but also for you to commit to attending and embedding that training that's available to you. For example, we've had the Inspiring Guest Loyalty that's been happening. We've had empowerment training for DMs, night managers, and that's been now expanded out to GSAs, which will start this week. So please speak to your hotel manager, department manager, if you're not aware of the training that's available. It is all visible on Z Connect. And then the Future Leader Programme, which has been mentioned a few times during the Q&A today. And this started last financial year, and it's really important part of continued development for our management team. And from this programme, the team do projects as part of the post training that they'll post on-site training that they do. And from that, we've picked sort of 3/4 key projects that we want to deliver. So as well as my every penny counts, my other mantra is less is more. So try and focus on doing less, but delivering it, and hopefully delivering it well. So we actually prioritise. So those 4 projects are Opera, which is the upgrade to Opera Cloud. which has been worked on, and we have a team working on that. We have Z Connect and SharePoint and Office 365, where we're trying to look to actually expand our use of that to help improve communication and data management, and replace maybe some of our older systems, such as things like eLogbook. And then the Z app, which is something we've talked about for a while, and the team have been working post the initial project presentation. But we're looking to actually build that into a phased approach to the Z app. And then the final one, which is being launched this week, which has been trialled in Tottenham Court Road, is the Salima Access People app. So that will be coming this week, and it's so much more intuitive and a lot easier to book holidays, see your rota, without having to go and look at the URL on the internet. So that's what we're working on.
Great, thanks, Jill. Are there any questions from anybody? Just pop a message in the chat. Don't be shy.
Or you can always speak. You
Yeah,
don't have to put it in the chat. You can
you can always talk to us.
Oh, I thought, oh, no, are you leaning in there? No questions? Okay, well, if there are no questions at all, so last words from Bev then, please.
Sure, yeah. So listen, thanks very much for taking the time to dial in today. Thanks for everything you do. Obviously, please focus on trying to maximise sales. I get a bit worried with Lena on the screen. I don't know if any of you are watching Lena, but there's a hand that keeps appearing from behind the wall. There we go.
Hey!
Looks very suspicious that all I can see was just a hand waving from time to time. Thanks very much for dialing in. Thanks for everything you do. I expect to see all of you there on the 21st of July. And you have to turn up just to get Jill off the microphone, otherwise she just spends all night singing on her own. And so please rescue us, is what I would say. Enjoy your day, everybody. Thanks for dialing in. Thanks for everything you do. Focus on making sure we achieve every penny of sales that we possibly can. And apart from that, good luck. Good luck to the softball team. Sorry, had a good win last night. 2 more to go. And good luck to the football team. I think they've just won the league, and they pick up the trophy on Thursday. So all good, all positive things, all moving forward. Thanks very much. Enjoy your day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.